Good morning, everyone. Hello, it is Janine, the Pricing Lady here, and welcome to Live with the Pricing Lady. I'm Janine Liston. I help small business owners know what and how to charge their customers. I am a pricing strategist and Europe's most trusted pricing strategist for small businesses. I'm so excited to have you here with me today, everyone. So welcome. And also welcome to my special guest, Miss Tulia Lopes. Hello, Tulia. Welcome.
Hello, Janine. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are.
Exactly, because some people will watch this later on, and it might also be any time of the day. So that's a very good point. Welcome to those of you who are watching. As we go through today, if you have questions, be sure to pop them into the chat. And if we have time, we will go ahead and answer those during the show live. And if not, we'll be sure to address them afterwards. So welcome. Tulia, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself?
Thank you, Janine. First, thanks again for inviting me. That was a pleasure to talk to you. And I am, as you see here, communication architect, trainer, speaker, author, and wearing several hats. And you might ask, what is a communication architect? My background is architecture, but from the past decade, I've been training people in public speaking, the communication, public speaking leadership. And if I have to, in a nutshell, to tell what I do right now, I help women. I use communication to help women to build up, to boost their confidence so they can achieve the results they want. Nowadays, we know that everybody needs to have a public presence, a stage presence. We are always leading teams or leading presentations. So it's very important that we have a confident presence in front of our audience, no matter which audience is. It could be here. We do that. I work with videos as well. There's a lot of interviews as we are doing right now. So it's important that you show that confidence through your video as well, through your voice. So that's what I do. And I'm in this mission to help women to stand up and speak up. I would say my main mission is to bring more diversity to the stage globally.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. And just for those of you who are watching, to let you know, Tulia and I originally met, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but through Toastmasters, which may be of no surprise to those of you who actually know both or one or both of us, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So Tulia, one of the things that we wanted to talk today about, or that you really expressed an interest in having a conversation about, was the prevalence or the topic of freebies in the business world.
Freebies. Yes, we all love freebies, don't we? Yeah, but
love hate.
No, we all love to get something for free. I think it's instinctive that we say, "Oh, I want that. Let's see what it is." Sometimes we even get it before knowing what it is. The free comes first, and we jump over. I think it's always good to offer something for your audience. However, I believe people became a little bit spoiled with the freebie concept. On the sense that you were a speaker yourself, Janine, and I'm a speaker. And nowadays, we use this stage to bring visibility to what we do, to our business, to our brand. And in most of those opportunities, we are not paid. In the other way around, we have to travel. We have to be there, all our expenses, our time of preparation, etc. So we take those opportunities very much. They are very welcome.
Right.
However, we also have to make a living, right?
Yes.
So I believe it's very important that we also find this opportunity, use those opportunities to share with the audience what we can offer in our professional life. Because also, if you see from a different perspective, I come to your presentation, Janine, and I find that you're awesome, and you don't tell me, as in your audience, what else, how can I engage with Janine? How can I get Janine to help me with my pricing. Janine comes, give this presentation, this beautiful presentation, and she leaves. I believe you're kind of disservicing your audience.
Right.
Yeah. So what's my point here? I've seen more than often, and probably you too, some people get offended in the audience when the speaker offers something.
Correct.
They're coming for a free event, and then they expect that they will be fed with information, with their knowledge, with all the preparation, with everything that it requires to organize any simple meeting. Even if it's a meetup, you still have to talk to the venue where can we bring 20 people here for this meeting. So there's time, there's preparation, there are people involved behind. So you come, you're more than welcome. Of course, people want you to be there. However, you should not be offended. You might think, well, it's not for me, or I didn't like the presentation. She didn't sell to me. She didn't convince me. So this is a completely different approach, which I believe is correct. You don't have to buy everything that people are offering you. And also, if people are poor sellers, well, tough on them. So they lost the opportunity. However, my point here is for your audience, for everybody out there who watch this video, I organize events and I know the work involved is so much. No matter if like the size is, amplifies a little bit the logistics, but the work in essence is the same. Is that if you are coming for a free event, first of all, check if that event will bring value to you. Because it's not only because it's free you should go. I know many people, they just go picking free events and they just go, then it's not for them, then they're upset and they get offended. So if you're going for a free event, you have the opportunity, you choose it, and you learn something there. But don't be offended if you something sold. I think it should be the other way. What's the next step? Many years ago, because I hadn't learned this, I was still in that frame that, no, I'm not going to sell anything. I'm not going to tell anything about because people are going to get upset, etc., etc. But I had situations where people came to me after saying, what's the next step?
What do I do?
And I didn't have it.
Maybe that's a really good point, because a lot of times when organizers first contact you, they have this policy of no hard selling from the floor. Right. So they don't want you to hard sell, but they are okay if you offer another freebie. So then you have freebies on freebies on freebies, right? Which I find very interesting. So maybe the conversation is, how can I, or may I, or in what context can I talk to people about what the next step is, as opposed to it being a conversation about whether or not I can sell. And I find that a very useful and helpful conversation to have, because it focuses on what's best for the people who attend that program or that presentation or workshop, because then they understand that there is a path beyond this, but it's all about how the context in which it's delivered and, how you sort that out with the organizer. I think from a value perspective, that's a really interesting way to approach the topic with an organizer. Absolutely. As a speaker, you should always ask, but also back to your point is, yes, nobody really wants a hard sell. Yeah. It breaks because if you're having a good presentation, engaging with your audience, and then at the end they say, okay, now it's not about that, but we do have to learn how to incorporate in the conversation of our presentation what we do and what we have to offer, creating this curiosity and this opportunity for people to contact you afterwards. So there are techniques, I know, that we need to incorporate in our presentations, because I believe
if you don't offer anything, or if you do a hard sale, so you're not servicing your audience.
Mm-hmm.
But also for organizers, because I am organizer, yes, and in one of the things we organizers, we don't like the hard sale, because
Mm-hmm.
not everybody knows how to do it very
Right.
well. So
Yeah.
we have to make sure, if you have an event with several speakers, if
Mm-hmm.
they have the experience. Some people, I would give the stage for them. They will come and they would sell thousands, and the audience wouldn't even know.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly,
Right.
because they really have the
There's people who
art.
just that it's very natural the way that it
Exactly.
evolves and whatever. And I think for most people that takes times to cultivate that
Is a
ability.
skill,
Yeah.
is a technique,
Yeah.
needs to be practiced over and over. It doesn't happen like that.
Yes.
Not because you have a nice face and
Yeah.
you're very charismatic that you're gonna sell.
Yeah.
It has a lot of psychology
Behind
behind
it.
it.
Yeah.
Who works in marketing sales know that. So I invite everybody
Mm-hmm.
to really take that step seriously in your speaking career, because there's so plenty of stages
Right.
out there that you can use as this opportunity to bring
Mm-hmm.
visibility to you and to engage with the audience further. And
Right.
nowadays it's very difficult to get paid for speaking. So
Yeah.
the competition is high, and they're looking
Competition's
for
high.
very specialized people.
Right.
And it's a different world. It's a
It
different
is.
world, but we still can take opportunity
Mhm.
of the stage.
Right. Can I also, I'd also like to talk about briefly freebies in general and what they can do, because while they can be helpful in a business, they can also be destructive. I see a lot of companies offering freebies without really understanding what it's doing to their brand, what it does to their value, and what it's communicating or telling customers about what they offer and how that business feels about what they offer. I'm curious if you've, how you see that in terms of what does it do to the value of what people actually offer?
Yeah, that's a very good point, because people, I see, mistakenly think that if they reduce their pricing lady, their price to a low price, the
Right.
lowest, they will attract people. Not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily,
No.
because if people don't see the value you can offer for free,
Right.
I'm not coming, because I don't understand why you're offering to me.
Right.
So your point there is very important. You really, if you use your freebie as a hook for your
Right.
audience to
Mm-hmm.
get them to know you first,
Mm-hmm.
because of course you people to come to you without knowing how you work, how exactly is the process that you offering in your program for them,
Mm-hmm.
how they will engage with you. It's unless they come recommended by someone,
Right.
then they are open to embrace you and say, okay, I do whatever you tell me to do.
Mm-hmm.
But if they don't, they find you in the internet, they find you in the LinkedIn, they find
Mm-hmm.
you interesting.
Right.
I want to hear about the pricing lady, but they need some information about you. So I
Yeah.
believe the freebies have this purpose.
Mm-hmm.
What you decide your freebie is up to you to be
Mm-hmm.
strategic enough to link
Right.
your freebie to your offer, to
Right.
exactly what you do. It's not just giving something for free.
Mm.
And I bring this analogy to the real life, the physical life, the life environment. I was in a meetup, and you know how meetups are complicated because they're free, most of them.
Yeah.
And then when you charge 20 whatever dollars,
Right.
euros, etc., you know that you have 100 people signing up, and then
10 come.
10 come up. Yeah. But then I was in this conversation with a lady, and she said to me, oh, this was a free one. And she said, I want, because she had this problem. She had booked a room, a venue,
Yeah.
talked to the people in the restaurant, and she was expecting a number, and she had a reduce the number. And this doesn't add to your reputation. Next
Right.
time you go to this place, they might say, no, Janine, I don't want you here with your group. Yeah.
Right.
So, but she told me, and to the group, she said, oh, I'm thinking about charging just €2, just to people to get. And I said, do you think people are going to come just because paying €2? I don't think so. I don't think so. Like, it's not like just €2 they will commit. If they not commit for 20, they will not commit it for 2.
Yeah.
So that is the concept, that it's the freebies you have to use. They are a strategy in your process. And also it's an opportunity for you also to get to know that person. Because think about it, you have to see if not everybody is your client,
is the perfect
client, ideal client. Like can be your client, but your ideal is like the one you want to work every single day.
Right.
And I'm telling you, and probably you have this same experience, your ideal client, do not question your fee.
Mm-hmm.
No. Why? Because they see the value.
They see the value. Exactly.
They see the value. And when they come to you, they probably have done their research. Even if they come from the first time, they see the value. They are looking for the value. They might ask you for a payment plan. They might try to negotiate the fee. That's okay too.
Yes.
But they don't come say, oh, too expensive, I'm not going to. No, she's so expensive. So if I'm communicating so expensive, then I understand also from my perspective is that I didn't communicate my value correctly to that person.
Or it can also just be a mismatch. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yes, as you said before, sometimes it's just not the right fit. It doesn't necessarily have to mean that, you've done something wrong in communicating your value. Monica posted something in the chat here, and she said that valuable freebies definitely make her more interested in someone's services or products. I think that's a very valid point, that your freebie needs to be valuable. But then I combine that also with the point you made that the best freebies are actually valuable to both parties. So a freebie that allows you potentially to interact, especially for service-based businesses, that allows you or enables you to interact with the person as opposed to them just consuming something, has a value for both sides. And I think that that's an important point as well.
Yeah, because there's some concept out there, probably you heard this in some business networking and entrepreneurs networking. Oh, give free. I'm not so in that line. I would say give, but strategically think how you can engage, because as you said, it has to be an exchange. Yeah, because everything we do, even if it's for free, there's time in preparation, there's time in thinking what am I going to do to offer to my audience that it brings value to them, that let them know my next program, for example. And what I invite people in your community is to start thinking ahead. Let's start becoming a chess player here, thinking 3 steps ahead. When you start something, where I want this to go, because also this gives you a good reference and tracking of where, if you're achieving what you're planning. Because these are all things that I learned in this past years, because creating and then you say you have all this creation, say what I'm going to do with this,
it's funny that you bring that up, because this week's pricing tip is all about when you test your prices out, because sometimes you set a price and you just have to test it. You've gone as far as you can with it, and you can spend more time thinking about it and whatever, but actually you probably won't get much further. You just have to put it out there. The mistake that people often make is they don't set targets around what they're testing and give it a timeline. And that's also very important. It's also important with your freebies as well to, set yourself some targets. What do I expect to get from this? How do I expect people to engage and work with this? And then see if it's bringing those results, because if it's not, then it may not be the right thing, or you may need to adjust how you're using it.
Absolutely. Your wording is so important. Right now I'm working in some funnel, and I am suffering here with the the copywriting, because it's not my language. And
Yes.
understanding the nuances, how I'm going to transmit this information to the
Right.
people, out there.
Most effectively. Yeah.
Yes, but back to the
Mhm.
freebies here,
Mhm.
and I really want your audience I want them to change their mindset,
Mhm.
and put themselves in the position of someone that's there on stage, offering something, and
Mhm.
also when they approach someone on their with their services. I'm from Brazil, and Brazilians have a very bad habit. I can talk about my people. They can throw stones on me. I don't care. But that's the thing they do. They,
Mhm.
before even knowing what exactly Janine does, they will say, "How much is it?"
Mhm.
Oh, this is so horrible. Because I know, because I'm in some Brazilian community, is all about how much is it,
Right.
without even knowing if that is for you. So
Mhm.
check first if that is for you, then check the fee. And
Right.
then if you feel like that, the value, that if you understood the value and the fee, you consider the fee high, don't
Mhm.
say that is expensive. You might say, it's not in my budget. It's
It's
not
not
for
a
me
priority
right
right
now.
now. That's
It's
what,
not for me right now, because if you
right.
see the value, you will find the money no matter what. You will
Right.
negotiate to find it. So don't
Yeah.
put yourself behind this, oh, it's too expensive, I don't have it. Because
Yeah.
we know, when we know in our investments, in mentoring and coaching, that when we need it, we see, I need to get that. We
Yes.
find the way.
Yeah.
So it's very important, because I believe when we develop this mindset, we
Mhm.
understand freebies, we welcome them, we
Right.
expect, we're not like going, as someone once told me, oh, your event, the Speak Up and Stand Up and Speak Up challenge is
Mhm.
a low ticket.
Right.
And this lady said to me, because we met about 2 years ago in a free event, and
Mhm.
she said, "Oh, but your event, why is so low price? Is there any hidden agenda behind?"
Yeah, but that shows you what having too low a price does for some people in terms of how they
Exactly.
think
And
about
I
it. Yeah.
said, well, it's not really hidden agenda. And then I explained to her why this is a low ticket, because
Right.
I really want to attract more younger than
Right.
students, because my goal with this event is to give people the awareness of the importance of developing a good stage presence. So this is why it's a
Right.
challenge. We have 9 experts there. They're challenging each other. They have to
Right.
give a message in 5 minutes,
Mhm.
which is a challenge. They are timed. If they are 5:30, they're out. So, but then again, in her comment, I could see that I went to that event and they offer something. There was a hidden agenda. I don't think it's a hidden agenda. Think they will
Right.
offer something. Just go and say, okay, I'm going to go to this
Yeah.
event. It's
Yeah.
free. And let's see what else comes after.
Right.
So,
Right.
and stop being offended with
Offended.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. So, Tulia, and we need to wrap things up here.
Oh, it's so
I
good
know
to
it goes so fast, doesn't
we
it? So
can
you
talk forever.
mentioned your Speak Up Academy, and I put on here the website for Speak Challenge. Why don't you tell people briefly about what that is? What the Speak Challenge
Absolutely. If you are in Munich, you must attend. February 6th is a Thursday evening from 7 o'clock. It's an
is?
evening event, 3 hours. But if you're in Zurich as well, in Switzerland, we are just neighbor, just come.
Right.
This event, I started with it last year, and my idea behind it, I is to bring, as I said before, this awareness of
Yeah.
professionals, the importance of really developing a good stage presence, because it's so vital for everything we do
Yes.
in our professional life. It doesn't matter if you are an entrepreneur or if you're a business, always in front of people.
Mhm.
And
Right.
the beauty of this event is that I bring our Toastmaster experience to it, which is they get on the spot feedback.
Feedback,
As you know, as
timing.
a timing in Toastmasters, we are used to that, but the world out there, people are not used to
Yes.
constructive and effective feedback. So
Right.
for them, it's really valuable because they understand what they have done well, what worked, and what they can still improve.
Right.
And this time, I have a bonus because they are the finalists from last year. So 9 people. They challenged each other last year. I don't say competed, I say challenged. And I have a lady who owns a booking agency here in Munich, booking agency for speakers, for the ones who want to develop a speaking career. She'll be there, but her focus would be checking how bookable these speakers and their presentations are for the market. And if they are, or if they aren't, why?
Okay. And this is the Speak Challenge or no? Sorry.
The Speak Challenge.
Okay.
The Speak Challenge. So February 6th in Munich.
All right. In Munich.
So go there to the
Will
page.
you have more of them in Switzerland this year?
Yes, absolutely. This is the grand finale. As I said, they are finalists from last year. But in March, I start the next round. So I have one event here in Munich, another one in Switzerland, and then they challenge each other. The selected 3 in each event will challenge each other in June.
Okay, fantastic.
So for your community, go for it.
And if people would like to reach out to Tulia and contact her, find out more about what she does, you can go to tulialopes.com or reach out to her on LinkedIn. The addresses are here below, and we'll also put them in the chat for everyone. So once we close the live show, you'll still have access to that information. Tulia, thank you so much for joining me today. It was a real pleasure. Thanks to those of you who joined us live as well. It was a very interesting conversation. I appreciate your comments, questions, and feedback as always. So everyone, that's all we have for today. One thing I'd like to share with you before we go is if you're interested in finding out more about how you're doing with pricing in your business, you can go to JanineListon.com/pricing scorecard, and you'll get a personalized scorecard based on your responses to a series of questions about how you're doing with pricing. This will help you understand where you're doing well, so what to keep doing, and where you can start to improve things. So go to this address and check it out there. It is, yes, free of charge. Until next time, everyone, I wish you all the best and enjoy pricing, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.